President Trump says he's going to announce so-called reciprocal tariffs on every country with duties placed on the U.S. In his words, if they charge us, we'll charge them. That announcement is set to come right before a key meeting between President Trump and Indian Prime Minister Modi, the leader of a country Trump calls, quote, the tariff king. So let's bring in CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. She joins us live. Kelly, thank you for being here. So go over this again. What are reciprocal tariffs and how would they work?
Okay, so think of it as a tit-for-tat retaliation when it comes to tariffs. Remember, a tariff is a tax that a company will pay when it's importing goods from another country. So in this case, countries like India, like Vietnam, like Thailand, they put a tax on goods, U.S. goods that are being imported into their country by companies in that country. And so the reciprocal element here is President Trump is saying, well, if you're going to tax the U.S. goods that are coming into your country, we are going to tax your goods that are coming into our country. So that's where that retaliation, the reciprocal aspect, it is a specific type of retaliation. That means if you're taxing 10%, we're also going to tax 10%. So it's kind of that evening out of things. The countries that this is going to hit hardest would be countries like India, like Vietnam, and a lot of developing nations. A lot of nations in Southeast Asia and Africa utilize tariffs in order to protect their domestic industries. So that's kind of basically what it is. Here, what it's going to mean is likely higher prices for us because that tax that a company would be paying often gets passed down to the consumer.
Yeah, so this is a really important meeting between Trump and India's prime minister in just a few hours. So what goods do we exchange with India, and what might Trump's tariff threats mean for trade?
You are absolutely right. This is a critical meeting. It's probably no surprise that this is being announced right now because we do know that President Trump utilizes tariffs as a negotiating tactic. So our trade relationship with India, for context, we are their biggest trading partner. They are in our top 10. So we are important to each other, but we are more important to India than they are to us. The types of goods that we sell to India are pharmaceuticals, petroleum, the types of goods we buy from India. Think textiles, spices, a lot of pearls as well coming from there. There is a trade deficit. That means that we buy more goods from India than we sell to them in India's favor. But yes, this is going to be a very important meeting. India has already indicated that they will roll back some of those tariffs. So I'm sure this is going to be something that the two presidents are talking about.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch because during Trump's first administration, these two had a very warm relationship. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this particular meeting during this current administration. There's new data on inflation, though, trickling in, switching gears. The Producer Price Index report. Tell our viewers, what is the PPI and what do we learn from this?
So this measures the prices, the costs that it costs producers in order to make the goods that we then go buy at the retail store, at the grocery store. And so this is really important because when these prices rise, it trickles down to us, the consumers, eventually. Remember, we also got an inflation reading yesterday, but it was the Consumer Prices Index. What is driving this? Diesel fuel prices are up, as are travel accommodation services. So think businesses like restaurants, hotels, those types of things. But yes, this came in hotter or higher than expected. We like to use the word hotter in economics. Certainly wasn't good news, Liz.
All right, Kelly O'Grady, thank you so much for that.